a clash perhaps. If this can take them on as well, this group, we're at 23 to 20 in thousands of army value. Now, I like the situation, this position for purple. This is looking good. Now green, they've both got MCVs. Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here, but I'm spectating a game and I thought I'd do spectate this one and record it live. We just have played a game. I played one of these players, and then they had these two guys had a game, and in fact the other player, both these players actually were in my game. One was spectating and one was against me as an opponent, and now these two guys are having a game against each other, but they did just try one, but one player lost connection sadly. But this player had a really good start, and by destroying his opponent's small starting army in the centre, he just overwhelmed him. And he had another attack with his initial starting army already set here. So when somehow he managed to overwhelm him here, and then he had a small starting army that attacked here and just could destroy the base at its will. And what was left of the opposing army was having to fight here and defend the main attack. So it was just a very, like a brutal start. But we've got, it looks like, standard build. No, we've got War Factory build orders, and this map does suit the War Factory first. But this player has got his rifle scouts are in twos. Now, when they see single rifle scouts, they'll win, because two rifles will gun them down, and that means this player will have to send more assets this way to scout and see if there's more than two rifles coming, because if there's more than one, it's not a rifle scout on its own, so you can't rest easy knowing that when you see two rifle scouts shooting each other, even if yours loses, you know it was probably a single rifle doing it. But, you know, if you see two, or you don't know, there might be more, there might be a little group coming. So it's handy sending rifles in pairs, or twos or threes, especially in the early game, because they kill single rifle scouts, and then it leaves the enemy in a situation where they've not only wasted assets, they don't know the situation, but this player's sending in his rifle scout here on move command, and that means he won't shoot at the ore trucks and reveal his presence. He's going to scout, but it does mean he'll get shot and he won't fire back, but it won't really matter firing back, he's not going to do damage. But here you go, you see that ranger took nearly more than half its health off from just a few moments against these riflemen. But I'm thinking that he sniped the engineer, and it would have been on screen, I believe. So I missed that, but hopefully you didn't. And let's see, he's got his engineer in here, I'm guessing, because it's a yellow pip. Different kinds of infantry have a different coloured square on a transport unit. Like an APC, oh look, he's going to get sniped. An APC can transport 5 infantry. And if you've got normal infantry like riflemen and rocket troops, they'll fill the square markers for the transport capacity, it'll be green, but an engineer's yellow. And I believe like spies or thieves, they're blue. So different units have different colours on the transport pips when you look at them, so it'll remind you what you've loaded into them. And this player's gone for Ranger and Light Tank combo, which is a very good combination, because the Ranger has got excellent view range and the Light Tank can soak up enemy bullets from their riflemen. So this player's got, what have we got here? He's loading rifles and an engineer, so he's going for oil derricks is my guess. He's loading riflemen and an engineer into there. Now he's got these rifles already, so he's making a decent job of securing it. Now the Ranger, has he still got the engineer inside? No, it got sniped by the APC, I remember now. But here we go, the APC's dropping off some troops, including a rocket soldier, and then the engineer's capturing this. So we've got an expansion at 4 minutes 39. We're moving up to the first expansion for this player, and let's see for the other player. There is, let's just look at the production. Medium tanks. Oh, he's already got his second one. Look at that. They're doing that. This is earlier. It's the War Factory build. And he's got 3 refineries as well. So, yeah, they're on a decent build. They know what they're doing. And it's because of the map. They're using this sort of build order with this expansion timing and War Factory first because of the map suits it. These players know what they're doing. Oh dear, look. No, at least there's no units inside it, but he escaped anyway. That's nice work. Very nice. APCs are cool. And he's moving his home base MCV out as well. He's moving that forward for a forward expansion. And even though he hasn't placed a refinery here yet, he has secured it with 2 barracks. And he's moving a tank up as well. In fact, he's got 2 tanks there. So yeah, he's got his expansion set up. We've got an eco-transfer, look. And the early army value is 11,000 to 10,000. But with these forces spread out like this, any of these groups could be killed on their own. This group here could destroy either one of these 2 groups of units. So the purple player wants to watch it. Now you see how he's using his ranger for view range and scouting. That needs to get away. A rocket will destroy it. He needs to repair it. Good, he is doing. Now there's too many medics there. He needs to get churning troops out, and you see he's building defences, because he knows this is how vulnerable here. He knows it. So he's bringing tanks, he's got his medics, he's placing base defences, and he's using these mobile forces, look, yes, and he's kept them as small forces, and he's got an attack route to attack the enemy ore trucks, and look, you see, he sneaked past the guard, rifle guards very nicely, and then he's set on an attack move. So if there's nothing there, they'll carry on this way, but that's nicely done. It's a good example of how to do that. 15 to 16,000 in army value. The purple player's got a larger army value, 17. That's good, he's taken out a base defence. And the green player, using Russia, has got V2 now. So this player, he knows he's reacting, but he's actually going for another eco-raid. That's nice. He knows he hasn't been cornered by a large force. So how is green going to respond to this? A V2 on its own, he could clear out this all the units in this base. And he's got another V2. He does have to contend with base defences. Ouch. And if you see a veteran tank like that, it's best to repair it, because a veteran is more effective than standard units, and it's worth repairing. And now they've cornered those units. That's a shame. It has, and really, it hasn't done. Yeah, it stopped these guys from moving to the front line, so that's fair enough. But this isn't looking like a good situation for purple to me. The French guy using France, the player using the French faction, it doesn't look like a good situation. Now, I could be wrong, but the green player has got a solid defensive position and a bigger army, and he's got the tech. The purple player using France hasn't. He's got none of the tech. This isn't going to do anything. He'll get a power plant at best, probably, unless it, I know they're good players, but this, although it all, actually, that's there waiting for an ore truck. So, I'll take that back. And it looks like we've got a bit of a clash, perhaps. If this can take them on as well, this group, we're at 23 to 20 in thousands of army value. Now, I like the situation, this position for purple. This is looking good. Now, green, they've both got MCVs, but green is caught between these two players. These two forces. Now, look at that. That's a lovely catch, but they're both close in army value still. But 15,000 for the green player using Russia, but two of those are planes. And the MCV has escaped. Very nice. Don't let it get blocked. In fact, that needs to keep running. Now it's stopped. No. No, I'm sorry. That's it should have been destroyed, I'm afraid. He's lucky. That's distracted him. I don't blame the purple player, but that's not looking good now. This isn't. His attention's been drawn away, and his position's not looking as strong all of a sudden. attacking and they get away. Looks like it. The green player's going to let him, and yeah, purple's hitting him here in the perfect place. That is ideal. Look at the ore trucks, this is where they're all focused, and green is trapped. This is, I've seen this happen many a time, and not just on this map, but on a few maps, where one player is trapped, and he's going to run out of money. What else is going to happen? And he already has, so what else can happen? And he was in a strong position not long ago. He's got the tech. If he can overrun here. Yes, that's not going to do it. I don't know. It's hard to say. Get that V2 to splat the centre. Go on, you can do it. And the ore trucks are moving out. Yes, he's won here. Where are the troops going? Don't. No. No, now the tanks can't take them on. The tanks will lose that engagement. And now they'll overrun that green force. Yeah, that's turned against him again. Now, it's 5,000 to 15, it's over. It's called it. I'll put very well played. That was an interesting game. Yeah, he's just put that he dismantled him, and that is correct. It's true. But the last match they had, it was like, you know, it would have gone the same way in the last game if it had continued on. But here's the army graph, and it was a good battle. Green did very well, and I need to remember that even though Green was trapped, at certain points he actually had the advantage, and after certain engagements he had the advantage. He was trapped, so. It's interesting. There's a lot to learn from that. That Green had because at one point he had the advantage, even though the purple player using Russia was attacking him over here. Green had won an engagement, and he had tech, he had aircraft, he had V2s, and he had a strong force. And he had the advantage at that point. So I need to remember, in situations where it looks like I'm trapped and I'm just hanging on by defensive fighting, I need to look for those moments where you actually do have a chance or the advantage, and you can then turn it around, because it was going back and forth who had the advantage quite quickly at some points. Very interesting game that. But there's the army graph, and Green peaked, look, above him. And you see, at one point he had that advantage, and he had tech as well. Here's the earnings graph, and yeah, look, and he had a nice spike of earnings. So some thief infiltrations would have been nice for him, for the green player. He could have spent that large force where he had the advantage and the spike in army value here at about 8.5 minutes. Then overrun here and use thieves to get the chokehold, and he could maybe even have captured some stuff. But yeah, that's what I would have done in that situation, because I know that the cash was soon going to run out, especially when you're buying so many tech assets and units like that, planes and tanks, infantry, structures. It's your money's going to run out when you've got one expansion. So that's what I would have been decisive, but they both did well, and it was a difficult situation for the green player. But the purple French player's finishing army is fairly decent. It's an average army, and he's actually got his light tank, unless he made another one. I'm not sure, but it's a 15,000 army value. One player lost 6 structures, one player lost 1, so not a lot happened there. But one player, the Russian player, got 146 kills. He lost, but the player using the French faction got 121 kills. But it's not what you kill and what you lose, it's what you gain for it. It's got to be worth it. And the Russian player using Russia got 32,000 in destroyed enemy assets. The player using France got 43,900 in destroyed enemy assets. So there's the combat chart. Support powers. The player using France has got a GPS satellite counting down. That's an excellent ability that shows you the position of enemy units and structures. It's an amazing ability, and what makes allies the strongest That's one of their excellent features, and I think Allies are a stronger factions. All the Allied factions are stronger than the Soviet ones. It's just that they're harder to use to their full potential. The Russian and Ukrainian units and abilities, they're simple brute force tactics that work well. The Iron Curtain, it works. They're very strong. And I like Russia because of their tools like early grenadiers, the APC, thieves, Tesla units. I like all that. Right from the early game to the mid to the late game, I like Russia. But I do believe the Allied factions are better. It's just they're harder to use to their full potential. That's all. But that's why I do practice with them now and then. Just, I need to also practice with Russia. But the production's going, is building air defences, actually, AA guns. That's wise. Tanks, infantry, and he's still building expansions. He's building a refinery probably to place up here. Economy, he's got 8 ore trucks left. The player using Russia earned 60,000. The player using France at 74,000. They've got a bit of cash left each. Here's the basics. The player using Russia had 36 actions per minute. The player using France was a nice relaxed 20 actions per minute. So there you go, there's the graphs and charts and stats for that game. I thought I'd spectate and watch a couple of good players have a go and post it and see what you guys thought. So if you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like, and take good care of yourselves, and goodbye for now.
Battle control terminated.